So now I'm going to go into more detail on how to use and how to operate my software. So there's a few small things you need to do firstly. So firstly, navigate to your C drive on your laptop and make a folder manually called Random Test Data Generation. And once you've made this folder, do not add anything into it. Then open up your Eclipse for committers like I've explained in the previous video how to set that up and configure that. So open it up and just open up your C and that folder that you've just made and click on launch. Okay, and then we're going to have to wait a few seconds for Eclipse to launch our working directory. Okay. So I've already set up everything, but what you need to do, I'm going to run you down through the steps on what you need to do. So we have opened up our Eclipse. So now what we need to do is we need to make a project. So do File, New, Project. Now you're not coding anything, you're just making a project to be able to run my code. And then click in Plugin, under Plugin Development, click in Plugin Project. Now, I have already did this, but in project name, you must provide right-click me, the capital C and capital M. And I've tried numerous things to try and get this to work for other package names, etc., but I couldn't get it to work. So in order for my tool to pick this up, you must call it right-click me. Then click Next and then Finish. And then a little pop-up for a perspective window should come up, just select No. I've did all this already, so I don't need to do that again. It actually won't let me do that again. So once you've did all that, you should have something looking like this. So you've made your folder. So you should have something looking like this, right? So what you now need to do is you need to go to my GitHub and you need to download some files. So come into this link here, download these files. And what you need to do is you need to download this selecttext.java file and you need to put that into that new, in your C drive, Random Test Data Generation and in the folder you've made. So right click me, source. So it should look something like this. So you've made your folder on your C drive. In right click me, in source, in here, you would, after downloading the select text.java file from my GitHub, you would paste it into here. Okay. Then after you have did that, just come into your project and just refresh it. Then within source, within right click me, you will have my source code that I have wrote throughout this entire project. Okay. Now there will be a lot of red errors and issues in here, but that's okay. So the next thing you need to do is you need to go back to my GitHub. You need to open up the plugin.xml file and you need to copy everything that is in this file. Once you've copied that, come back into your project, open up the manifest, the meta.inf folder, and open up the manifest.mf. Then come down to, you should have installed your dependencies and your extensions, and then you should have a new tab called plugin.xml. Just copy and paste in what you've copied from my GitHub into this folder and just save it, okay? So now you have my code, and you have my plugin.xml, and you have everything set up and you're all ready to go. So the next thing what you need to do is open up the select text.java file and just go to the very bottom. And right here, this is where you are going to write, this will be blank for you. And it says write your own methods below. Now I've already wrote a method to test this project on. And what you got to do is you just write your own methods. You can have one or you can have as many as you like. Just follow the types that I have in my GitHub for more clarity for you. So when you're done writing your own methods, what you got to do is you got to come up to the select text.java file, right click, run as, and select Eclipse application. Now what this is doing is making a runtime new screen. So in effect, it is actually running my code on the method or methods that you have wrote. So it does take a few seconds to open. And for you, it might, when you get a runtime screen like this, it might be blank. So you might have to open up file and open up your working directory of selecttext.java. But that should only happen once. But after that, it looks the exact same, but the code is actually running behind the scenes now. As I stated before, I have to do this because I couldn't get it to work, and I have documented that into both of my reports, my iteration report and my project report. So effectively what you gotta do is double click on the method that you've made, right click, click on generate tests, and then just follow the on-screen instructions. So we have made a file called testing_is_awake method. It's empty. Would I like to overwrite it? Yes. It's been overwrote. Am I awake? Yes, I am. Say no, and say no, and that. Now, after you have seen your Java file has been created, you need to minimize this. You come back into your project, back to not the runtime. Then what you gotta do is you gotta come up to your thing, you gotta right click, click on refresh, and there you go. You should have testing_is_awake method, or whatever your method was called. So if you were adding two numbers and it was called adding or add, back here it should say testing, adding, or add, or whatever the name of your method was. And now you have your Java file with your JUnit test in here. And if you follow everything that is in my GitHub, you will be able to run this test through JUnit. And if you've any issues or anything, you can read the GitHub README file, and you can come back to the previous video I've made and this video that I have made. And that is effectively how you can use my tool. And yeah, thank you. So to quickly show you, when your Java file has been made, you will see this in my GitHub anyway. Initially, this file will not be configured for JUnit. So what you're going to have to do is, initially you're going to have to right click, you're going to have to do run as, and just run it through JUnit. Now the test won't pass, nothing will happen, okay? Then after that, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to click on run configurations. And by default, it is going to be set to JUnit 5. Okay, what you need to do is you need to convert this, you need to put it to be JUnit 4. Now I've already did that, and then you click on apply. So I'm going to set it back to that. And if I set it to JUnit 4 and I click apply and then run my test file, this Java file, right click me, testing_is_awake method, which is the name of my file, has ran through JUnit and it has passed. Now, for more information, read my README file in my GitHub, but I'm just showing a little example on how to run your test when it has been made.